Hi everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to Quinn Inc. Today is Saturday Granny, and today the granny square that we're going to do is called corner to corner. So you're going to start in one corner and end in the next corner. And then we'll also do this cute little border that goes around this beautiful square. Now, if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to scroll down, hit that like button, so that way I know you're enjoying this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that way you can get more videos such as this one and others I will do in the future. Alrighty, so let's get started with the corner to corner granny square, and let's find out the tools that we are going to need. Alrighty, so the tools that you are going to need are always as follows. You're going to need a needle with a large eye hole so you can always sew in your strings. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a crochet hook. Today I am going to be using the 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, or the I9. Now the yarn that we're going to be using today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be using this one called Yarn Bee, super soft, and it's in the color pink. It's 6 ounces and 300 yards. The next color you're going to be using is this one. It's going to be called Red Heart Super Saver, and this one is 7 ounces and 364 yards. Now you're not going to need very much, and this one is in the color bright yellow, but it's actually not a yellow, it's more of a mustard color. And then the other ball of yarn you're going to be needing is going to be this white one. Now I'm using Mainstays 100% acrylic yarns. This is 367 yards and 7 ounces, and this is in the color white. Now you can use all Red Heart brand if you would like. The last one we're going to be using is called Crafter's Secret Big Idea, and this one is actually 16 ounces and 810 yards, and this one is in the color Splash, or an aqua color. Alrighty, so now that you know the 4 different colors that we are going to be using to make this beautiful corner to corner granny square, let's get started with knowing how to make this. Alright, so we are back. Now, in order to start this corner to corner granny square, we're going to start with the pink color first. So you're going to want to make a slip knot. So wrap your yarn around your fingers like this. Put your yarn behind that circle and grab your yarn with your hook and pull tight. And that will make you a nice little slip knot. Make sure that your yarn tail is out of the way, so that way it does not get in the way and you accidentally think that it's your yarn. Now we're going to chain 4, so yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. We're going to make a chain of 4. So that's 2, 3, and 4. Now this is going to count as your double crochet. And now what we're going to do is we're going to count back 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 4th chain from the hook, so not the one counting on your hook, we're going to make 3 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that first chain, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to make 2 more all into that same chain. So that's 2, and that one is going to be 3. Now when you're starting out, you will always start out with 4 double crochets. Your chain will always count as that double crochet. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work, and then into that very first stitch, we're going to make 3 double crochets. Now from here on out with the pattern, you will only make 3 double crochets, not 4. Some patterns, doing the corner to corner, you'll do 4 double crochets. I just absolutely did not like that. I tried it and it was too bulky, so I'm only going to do the 3 double crochets. Then we're going to skip over these 2 stitches right here, 1 and 2, and into that chain stitch right there, 3rd chain, so 1, 2, and 3, this very top one. You're going to put your hook right in there, and you're going to put 3 double crochets. Okay, so you'll skip over the 2 chains and into that 3rd chain stitch right there, you put 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. And this is actually going to be row number 2. So row number 1 was the 4 double crochets from the previous round. Row number 2 is chain 1, 3 double crochets onto that first stitch, skip 2 stitches, and 3 double crochets into that first chain stitch. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change the color to Splash, or to this aqua color. So I already have a little ball ready. So what we're going to do is grab our scissors. Okay, and we're just going to snip our yarn real quick. Yarn over and pull through and then tighten. Now this yarn is kind of slippery, so you do want to kind of tighten that pretty nice and tight. And then you're going to go back into that stitch. Grab your aqua yarn now, put it onto your hook and pull through, and then you're going to tie on, and this is going to be round number 3. Alrighty, so we are back for round number 3. You have your splash tied on, put your hook back into that stitch, grab your working yarn, grab it and pull right through, and then you're going to just chain 1 and turn your work. Now going back into that very first stitch that we just tied into, you're going to put 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then now you're going to skip these 2 stitches right here and go into that spacing, and into that spacing you're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to skip over these 2 stitches right here and into that 3rd stitch, which is right there. You're going to turn your work. You'll just see it. You'll go right under that 2 little bars right there, and you'll put 3 double crochets all into that stitch. 2 and 3. And that will finish off round number 3. Now for round number 4, it's going to be very simple. It's another repeat. You're just going to chain 1, turn your work into that very first stitch. You're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And if you give me 1 second, my yarn's a little tight. Okay, and you're going to skip those 2 double crochets from the previous round, go right into that chain space. Actually, it's just a spacing, so you're just going to go right in there for 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And now you're going to skip over all 3 double crochets and go into that chain space. And you're going to put 3 double crochets all into that spacing. 2 and 3. Alrighty, and now for the last bit, you're going to skip over the 2 double crochets from the previous round into that very last double crochet that we first made from the beginning of the previous round. You're going to go right into that stitch under those 2 bars, and you're going to put 3 double crochets all into that stitch. 2 and 3. And that is going to finish off round number 4. Alrighty, so then for round number 5, we are now going to change to that mustard yellow color, which I have right here. Let's just grab a little bit of this real quick, and let's cut off the blue, yarn over, pull through, and pull tight. Okay, and then you'll just put your hook right into there. Grab your yellow yarn, put it onto your hook, pull right through that stitch, and then you're just going to tie on. And then we'll begin round number 5. Alrighty, we are back for round number 5. Now, for round number 5, we're just going to repeat what we did for rounds 2, 3, and 4. And then round number 6 is when we're going to start to decrease and start to make that square. So let's get on with round number 5. Chain 1. Oops. So you're going to put your hook right into that stitch. You're going to grab your working yarn and you're going to pull right through, and then you're going to chain 1 and turn. And like always, you're going to go back into that stitch, that same one that we just pulled through, and we're going to put 3 double crochets all into that same stitch. Now if you want to, you can make this square a lot bigger before decreasing and making the square smaller. Okay, so you always make the half portion first when we're doing the corner to corner, and then you'll make the other half by decreasing. And if you want to keep increasing it until you get however many rows you would like, you can keep doing that. So you'll just keep repeating this pattern that I keep showing you, where you chain 1, 3 double crochets into that first stitch, then 3 double crochets into each of the spaces, and it will keep growing and growing and growing. Okay, and into the next space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And into the very last spacing, 3 double crochets. Remember to skip over all 3 double crochets and just go right into that spacing. And when you get to the end, you just want to skip 2 of the stitches, and that third stitch, that's when we're going to work our 3 double crochets. Just make sure you turn that stitch right here towards you. So I like to turn it like this so I can see the 2 V stitches right there, and go right underneath them, and then just put my 3 double crochets right into that V stitch. And I know you keep hearing that tapping. That tapping is just my watch hitting the table. As you can see right here, this side right here just keeps hitting the table, so I have to keep turning it. So my apologies for that. Alright, and so that finishes off round number 5. Let's go ahead and get started with round number 6 with the decrease. Alrighty, so we are back, and we're going to now do round number 6. Round number 6 is now going to be our decrease round. And in order to do a decrease, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and the only thing we're going to do is just put 1 double crochet into this stitch instead of 3 double crochets. Give me 1 second, my yarn's kind of pulling. Okay, now that you've put that 1 double crochet into that stitch, not 3, now you're just going to skip right over to that chain, or excuse me, that spacing, and we're going to put 3 double crochets all into that spacing. And this is how you're going to decrease every single row in order to get to that triangle. So pretty much we made an upside down triangle, as you can see, and now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it and make the right side up triangle, so that way we can make the square. Okay, so now you guessed it, we're going to be going into that next spacing and putting 3 double crochets all into that spacing. 1, 2, and 3. Always skipping over those 3 double crochets from the previous round. Just go right into that spacing. No, not into the stitch, into the actual spacing itself, like this. Whoops, like this. Going right underneath and then grabbing your yarn and pulling right through, and then finishing off that double crochet. You're going to put 3 double crochets right into that spacing. Okay, skip over the 3 double crochets from the previous round, and if you have to, you can always pull your double crochets apart if you need to get into that spacing. 3 double crochets into the next spacing, as you see me doing here right now. And if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to scroll down, hit that like button so that way I know you're enjoying this video, and don't forget to subscribe so that way you can see more tutorials such as this one and others I will do in the future. Alright, now last but not least, as always, skip over your 2 stitches right here, your 2 double crochets, and then go into that next double crochet right there. Remember to turn it so you can see the stitches right there, right here, and you'll put 1 double crochet into that stitch, not 3. So because we are decreasing, you always want to put 1 double crochet at the end and 1 double crochet at the beginning. Now that was round number 6 for the starting of the decrease. Now we're going to work on round number 7, but I'm going to change color to the pink, so I'm going to cut my yarn and we're going to go right back to the pink. I'm going to yarn over, go through and tighten. Okay, and then let's grab our pink yarn, which is right over here in the corner. And what you're going to do, like always, go into that stitch, grab your yarn like this, put it onto your hook, and pull right through until you get that piece to come right through. And you're going to tie this right on. You can tie it as long as you want or as short as you like. Okay, and then we're going to be working on round number 7. Okay, we are back for round number 7. And what you're going to do now is you're going to put your hook right into that stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through to make a chain, turn your work back into that same stitch. I know you have a bunch of yarn tails. We're just going to put 1 double crochet into that stitch, just like this. Now I know what you're thinking, what am I going to do about this little chain space right here? Nothing. You are going to skip right over it. So that way we can keep decreasing. And then you're going to skip over this one and go right into the next one and go right over those 3 double crochets right there. So yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Every round you will skip this spacing right here. So that way we can keep decreasing and making these spacings a lot smaller. All right, so into the, whoops, after you've made that double crochet, make 2 more into that same spacing. 1 and 2. Skip over the 3 double crochets into the next spacing, make 3 double crochets right into that spacing. 2 and 3. Skip over the 3 double crochets and right into that chain, that spacing, make 3 double crochets. Sorry about that, I keep calling them chain spaces because normally you will chain and then put 3 double crochets. That's a normal for granny squares or any type of granny stitches, but I have not been chaining, so I keep forgetting not to say that. Okay, now when we get to this part, you're like, oh, do we put double crochets right into here? No, you do not. Because we skipped this one, we are also going to be skipping the end spacing as well. Because if you don't, then you're going to just keep adding and adding and adding, and we want to decrease the amount of spaces that we have. So for this one, you will skip over the 3 double crochets and the chain space, or the spacing, and go right into that double crochet. And all you'll do is put 1 double crochet on top of the double crochet from the previous round. So that way we can decrease. And as you can see, we are decreasing. Instead of 4 clusters of 3, we have 3 clusters of 3. And that is round, I believe, number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that was round number 7. Now we're going to be working on round number 8. Okay, so now we're going to be working on round number 8. So now you're going to chain 1, turn your work, if I can get it to turn, and put 1 double crochet into that spacing right there, or into that stitch. Okay, so we put 1 double crochet, skip the spacing, skip the 3 double crochets, go right into the very next spacing. Okay, so remember, every round as you are decreasing, you will skip the spacing next to it and the 3 double crochets, so that way we can fully close off and get these spacings closed. Okay, and the next spacing, 3 double crochets. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Okay, and then number 3. So there we go, we're starting to fully close it off. So instead of 3 the last row, we now will have 2 this row. And so what you'll do again is skip over 3 double crochets, the spacing, turn that last double crochet so you can see the the V stitch, go under the V stitch and put 1 double crochet. And there we go, we're almost done. Now we're going to be working on row number 9, and for row number 9 I'm going to change colors one last time just for the corner to corner, and we're going to go to splash or aqua. Okay, so yarn over, pull through. Don't forget to cut your yarn, tighten that pretty tight because this pink yarn is very slippery. Put your hook back into there, grab your splash yarn or your aqua color, whatever color you decided, put it onto your hook, pull through and tighten on, and we are going to be starting round number 9. All right, we are back for round number 9. So you're going to put your hook back into that stitch that we just tied on, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and make a chain and turn your work. And now you're going to put 1 double crochet all into that stitch. You're going to skip over the spacing and the 3 double crochets and put 3 double crochets into the next spacing right there. 2 and 3. You're going to skip over the 3 double crochets, the spacing, and go right into that double crochet right there and put 1 double crochet. That is round number 9. And you're probably wondering, well, how do we finish this off? We're now going to be working on round number 10, and I will show you how to close it off and make the point like we did down here. Now this one's going to be a little bit differently. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work. And for round number 10, we're going to put a double crochet right into that first double crochet from the previous round. So go right into there. Whoopsies. Now we have these 3 double crochets right here. So what I ended up doing was going to the middle double crochet right here. Okay, so even if you have to pull those 2 apart, you're going to go to the middle one right there. We're going to do a decrease, it's called a decrease 2 together is what it's called. So you're going to yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Grab your working yarn and only pull through 2. And then you're going to go back into that stitch. You're going to yarn over, go back into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. that is the decrease, 2 together. Then what you're going to do is go back into that last double crochet right there from the previous round and pull 1 double crochet right into there. And that is how you make the corner to corner granny square. Now we are not done. We have one more row to do, and that is going around the whole entire square. So what we're going to do is cut off our yarn, yarn over, and pull through. And that white yarn that you saw from the very beginning of the tutorial, which we were talking about the tools that you would need, is going to be right now. So you're going to grab that white yarn that I have right here in the very back, and you're going to connect it right here into that stitch. And we're going to be working on round number 11. That's right. Tie that on and we'll be ready for round number 11, and I'll show you what to do next. Alrighty, we are back for round number 11. That's right. And for round number 11, we are going to single crochet all the way around the square. So that way it can look like this one. It's very beautiful, very easy. I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's get it done. Okay. So to start round number 11, you're going to put your hook back into that stitch where we had connected. Okay. You're going to grab your white working yarn and pull through, and then you're going to chain 1. We're going to slowly turn our work, so that way we're working on the side of our granny square. You're going to put a single crochet into that stitch. So you're going to go into your stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. Into each of the spacings, as best as you can, you're going to put 2 single crochets. So I'm going to put 2 single crochets into here and 2 single crochets into here. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to try and single crochet all these little strings into my work as best as I can. Once I get to a certain point where I feel these strings are no longer going to be crocheted into the work, I'm going to cut them off. And that also keeps from you having to sew in your strings. Now when you get to something like this, I just put 1 single crochet in there. Okay, and then I kind of move down the line and find another spacing, such as that one right there, and I put 1 single crochet into there. And then for something like this, I'm going to move my strings, something like this where it has a line, I'm going to skip over that and go into the space and put 2 single crochets all into there. If you do not want to sew, if you do not want to crochet your strings into your work, you don't have to. You can just sew them into this white yarn right here. Whatever's easier for you. Now something like this right here, I skipped right over that and I went in straight into the big spacing right there. Just like that. Just to close it off. But when I got to something like this, where there was a big hole, then I put a single crochet right into it. And then into the next portion right here, that's where I put 2 single crochets. 2 single crochets right into it. And then something like this, I would kind of just go right into it and just put 2 single crochets without splitting the yarn. Okay, and then one more thing is we have to make sure this is the side. So this is the side right here, so I need to back up my stitches real quick. And right here, so on your other side, you're going to put 3 single crochets right into here. So any side that you have, you will put 3 single crochets. And I apologize for that. Sometimes you get going and forget about that. So for this side right here, I'm going to put 3 single crochets, and that is where our decrease was right here. So wherever the decrease is, where you started it, so our decrease was right here. On this side, I'm going to put 3 single crochets. When I get to the bottom down here into this very hole or spacing that you see right there, that is going to have 3 single crochets. So now we went down one side, we're going down the next side of the square. And I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put 3 single crochets right into there. Now these are supposed to be chain spaces or chains instead of chain 1 and then double crochet, so that way it could be a little skinnier. To me it really didn't matter. I thought it looked just fine. And into the spacing I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and into the spacing right here I'm going to do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. You can do as many single crochets as you would like into your side pieces. So if you want to just put 1 single crochet into every single stitch, you can do that too, or whatever stitches. Now if I got something like this where there's all these little holes and stuff, I just put 1 single crochet into each of those holes. Like right there, I'd put 1 single crochet just like that. And then when I got here, 1 single crochet, because it got a little funky and so it was hard to determine where to put 2. Now here I'm going to put 2. This one's going to have 1. This one's going to have 2 because this was a chain. And then when I got to the corner or the very bottom right there, that's when I'm going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. So that way we start having these corners. As you can see right here, there's a corner right there. So side, corner, and as you can see it is starting to look more like a square. So pretty much just kind of determine how many stitches you would like to put in each of your spaces as you're going along your sides. So if you feel you need to put 1 single crochet or 2, then put 1 single crochet or 2, but in any corner that you come to, you are going to want to put 3 single crochets. So that is going to be a corner right here that is going to have 3. When I come back around to here, I'm going to put 2 more all into the spacing right here, so that way we can have 3 single crochets since I only had 1. And we're almost around the corner, so I'm going to skip over this and go right into this one. Okay, and then I'm going to go into this spacing. And my yarn is tangling, so hold on one second. Here we go. Okay, so then into this one, now it seems more, you can see it better, excuse me. So I know I'm going to put 2 right into here. I'm going to skip over that. Now you can put a single crochet in there if you'd like. I'll put 1 in there. Now when I get to this part right here, I am going to definitely put 3. So 1, I just go right into the spacing and just put 3. 2 and 3. Make sure there's 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yep, there's 3 right in there. Okay, so that way it makes the side for you, just like over here did. And then we're coming up on the very last corner. 2 single crochets right into the spacing. I'm going to skip over that piece right there, go right into the next spacing right here. Put 2 single crochets. I'm going to go right into this big spacing right here and put 2 single crochets. I'm going to skip over this little line thingy right here. And I'm going to go right into this big spacing and put 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet right into there because it is a stitch. Then I'm going to go right into this very last stitch right here, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets all into that spacing, so that way it finishes off the corner, and into that very next stitch we're going to slip stitch. Go right into that stitch, grab your working yarn, pull up a loop, and pull right through. Now you can grab your scissors, pull through and pull through and tighten. And now what I end up doing is I end up pulling on the corners like this, turning it, pulling on the corner like that. So it starts to look more like a square. I know that looks a little funny. And then what you can do is you can turn your work, and as you can see, you have all these little strings. I like to pull on the strings and then just start to cut each one of them off. Just like this. So like I have 2 blue ones. Boop. I'm going to cut those off. And then I'm just going to turn it and I'm going to pull on the string. When you pull on the string, what ends up happening is it makes it look less bunchy. As you can see, it looked like it was bunching here. And so you pull on it so that way it quit bunching. And then here's the white one. I'm going to pull on that one. And now I'm just going to cut all the strings off. If you can grab them. Alrighty, so we are making it to the end of the video. If you made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more unique tutorials such as this one and others I'm going to do in the future. Or if you just like watching my Saturday Granny series every Saturday, then go ahead and subscribe, because every Saturday I'm going to try and come out with a new and unique granny square for you to do. Something simple and very easy, nothing too difficult. And then you just keep pulling on it, and before you know it, you have a square. And that is what your square looks like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed Granny Saturday. Maybe you can make something like a blanket out of these. So I made 2 of them already. So that's kind of what they look like. I think they look really cool. You can make a blanket. You can make a cardigan, you can make a scarf, you can make a hat, you can make whatever you like out of these. But that is what the Saturday Granny Square is. And this is called the Granny Corner to Corner Square. Thank you very much, everyone. And until next time, bye-bye.